This is insane, okay? Just to be clear, that should not happen. I've bought a lot of tools over the years, and not all of the good ones cost an arm and a leg. So today we're gonna be going over my favorite 30 tools under $30. Some of these are one of a kind, others are the best in class, even at this price point. Either way, if they disappeared tomorrow, I would buy them again for double and not even think twice about it. Starting off with some of my favorites, you guys, this Wiha utility case here is an absolute gem. Now, we have some more tools in this, okay, but this right here is the #1 tool on this list. Now that this is open, you can kind of see the layout of this kit. It comes with this molly webbing inside, so you can pretty much do whatever you want with it. I typically have bits in this and run this as a bit case. Put a bit holder in here, a 1/4" bit holder, which is my favorite. If you know me, you know I hate proprietary bits so much, especially for multi-drivers. That's why carrying a little handle like this and bits that fit in your impact or in your multi-driver, it's an absolute lifesaver. But if we go ahead and look at this right side of the case, you can see these color-coded nut drivers or nut setters. I have no idea what the difference is. I don't think it matters, if we're being so honest. I know how to use them, and that's all that matters. So if we go ahead and pull these out, the color coding on these has lasted for a long time, and this is one of the best sets out there for as far as color-coded nut setters go. 6 inches is a pretty big must for me. Like, I like the longer nut setters. Gives you a little bit more room, a little bit more versatility. The little ones are a lot easier to lose. These have really good magnets in them as well, which is great. I love that. So no issues there. And it comes in a set of 6 here, which is going to be all your major sizes. So as far as color coding goes, the red is the 1/4", 5/16 is the yellow, 3/8 is the blue, 1/2 inch is the orange, black is the 9/16, and brown is our 7/16, which is going to be all your major sizes. I really like this set. And like I said, I put these through quite a bit. The color coding has stayed on very well. I also really like that the color coding is all around the entire thing. It's not just like one little strip. It's not just going to wear off. And like, if it wears off in one area from you using your impact on it and doing whatever, like, it's only going to be in that one area, not the whole thing. Okay. It also is easier to see. The whole point of color coding is so that if this is laying on the ground next to my 5/16, or if these are like sticking out of a pouch or whatever, it's very easy for me to tell what's what. It seems silly, but like, people don't like to color code things, and I don't understand why. I absolutely love it. If I can have something that's color coded, I'm going to. You already know. If you know me, you know. That being said, this set they fit really well. They're very inexpensive as well. I think right now they're actually on sale. So they do go on sale from time to time, but there's a really good price on these right now. And then to round off this little pack here, this is going to be the Wiha Centrifix. I have a ton, and I mean an absolute ton of these 1/4" bit holders. I talked about it a little bit, but basically, if you have a bit and you like strip it out or you lose it and it's a proprietary bit for your multi-driver, you're just toast. With these, I can put any 1/4" bit in there, any length. If I strip it out, if I lose it, I can have a new one today. I really like it with these 3.5" bits. More importantly than that, there's zero slop in this whatsoever. So like, you see me pulling on this, there's like no play in this whatsoever. I don't understand it. Personally, that's one of my favorite parts about this driver here specifically. Like, I like the handle shape. It feels comfortable and it feels ergonomic in the hand. Obviously, the fit is going to be based on the bits that you use, which we'll get there. I've got some bits that I really love. Similar to a utility knife. The utility knife itself isn't going to be what cuts. It's going to be the blade, and you can change that out. But the functionality of how well and smooth it flips out, the features, whether it holds blades, whether it doesn't, those are the things that you're going to want to look out for. And in my opinion, that's what this does well, is it holds your bits very well. No issues whatsoever. There's a lot of retention. And it's an absolute gem. By far my favorite handle, and it's going to be under that $30 price mark. Chef's kiss to Wiha, coming in strong with a ton of options up front, which these obviously all go in my impact as well, but that's nowhere close to $30. So coming in with another strong one, Knipex. Knipex makes a ton of fantastic tools. Not a ton of them that are in this price range, sadly. That being said, I love them, and I love them for a reason. That's the main set of pliers that I use for just about everything. And these little guys here are going to be the twin grip pliers. These things, or the 6-inch set. It's a little tiny, just a little baby set, but these have a ton of usage. If we go ahead and take a look at this head up here, if we close these jaws up, in the top here, you can see this round opening, which is going to be great for grabbing stripped screws. Pretty much grabbing anything from any direction ever. If you've seen the Cobras, then you've seen this head. It's just like basically the best water pump pliers ever, which are the channel lock styles of pliers, but with a straight head, so you get a little bit of a different angle. They've got a great grip, even like this. They come in a bunch of different sizes, 6 inches, 8 inches, and 10 inches. But this little set here is very, very small, great for EDC, great for grabbing and getting a hold of little stuff. And we can go ahead and open these up if we press the button. So if we want to get them open, now we're going to be able to grab larger objects, which these are going to be like great for pretty much all of your smaller screws and hardware, different things like that. Pretty much anything that you could actually strip out with your impact. Instead of stumbling around with your linements trying to grab that and twist, you're going to be able to actually get a hold of it with these. And the handles on these, man, the handles on these are phenomenal. This isn't a traditional dip. This is a non-slip dip. This is the same dip that's on the Cobras. I personally don't like dipped handles, okay? I don't like the way they feel. I like the comfort grip in pretty much everything, except for these. This is not the same kind of dip. It feels very good with or without gloves. It's got a lot of texture. So you actually get like a good grip on the red. These things are an absolute winner of a set. And if you need kind of an set of pliers, these are the ones for me. I never, ever, ever leave home without a set of these in my tool bag. Typically, I'll have the 8-inch set or the 6-inch set. It just depends on what I'm getting into. These are really, really nice to tuck away though. Grab that little stuff and you can barely even notice that they're there when you're not using them. Man, this Empire level is going to be the best budget-friendly level on the market, okay? There's a lot of levels that are all very, very similar in size, in style, in price range. The Milwaukee is going to be like $10 more than this. Klein, same thing. Ideal, Greenlee, they're all just a little bit more expensive than this, and they're actually all over the $30 mark, except for maybe the Klein is at like $29. But the Empire is, I believe, right around 22 or 23. And let me just tell you, there's no performance difference. Like, you're going to get the exact same thing with the Empire that you're going to get with the Klein, the Milwaukee, the Ideal. The only difference is the features and the look. However, I like the way this blue looks, like, a lot. It's a really nice level. The no dog comes out, which for this one I probably would. It sticks up pretty far. But you do end up with your 0, 90, 45, and your 30. There's 3 magnets on the bottom, and they are very, very strong, okay? You're not going to be losing this anywhere. Hard to get rid of, okay? And I really like the visibility from the top here. So you can kind of see there's a lot of room. Even on the bottom section here on the 0, you can literally see this from all 4 directions, from the top, obviously both sides, and the bottom. It's got a lot of visibility, which personally I'm a fan of. And then the same thing with the 45 and the 30. You're going to have visibility from the top here, which I like, okay? Nothing to complain about. It's pretty simple. It's a level. They all do the same thing. They all have pretty much similar functionalities. Some of them will have a little bit of a ridge down here because this is for conduit. If you don't know, this is an electrician's level, 6-inch level. 45 and 30 are important for bending conduit. But I've seen no issues with this holding on to a piece of conduit with these magnets on here. It's strong. And you have a little place to tie through to put a lanyard or whatever you want to in there. All right. So, and it's blue and it's different. It looks a little bit different than the orange that everybody's got the Klein. It is what it is. They're just levels, but this one's got a really nice price tag and the performance is fantastic. This one here is one of a kind. This is the Racketeer's stud ball. This is basically the smallest version of a stud finder that you can find. This is just a magnetic ball. It'll help you find screws in your drywall. So wherever that is, whether it's metal studs or wood studs, they were put up with some sort of metal. And this right here is going to help you be able to find that. And that's what I really, really like about it. The price tag is good. Yes, it's very small, very light, and it takes up no room. This is in there, and if I need it, I need it. I can pull it out. I'm good to go. If I don't use it for 2 weeks, it's fine because I don't even notice that it's in there. It's so small, it can just go up on the top of my tool bag, stick around on some of the tools. It's not in the way. It doesn't add extra weight at all. And it works very well when I do need it. And it's gone. The magnets on this are incredibly strong. Like, it's hard to get rid of, okay? But this thing here, it also can kind of double as some sort of a fishing, like, magnet. If you lose something somewhere, like, you can tie a string on this, you can drop it down. I've had to do that before. Or a piece of wire, a solid piece of wire, kind of push it over to your tool that you dropped in whatever machine, and just hope and pray that it doesn't get stuck on everything everywhere. But there are times where that comes in handy, which is just really nice to have. Now, this next one is a absolute lifesaver. Also, it's kind of a one of one. A couple different brands actually make this, but this is the Knipex dismantling tool. This is the first one that I've had. A couple different brands overseas make them. This is the one that I've had. This is the one that I've used. It's the brand that makes, like, that I actually have stuff from. Not very expensive whatsoever, but man, this thing is a time saver, a lifesaver. It strips cord or cable, like large cable or cord. Just like so much easier. Okay, I used to struggle a ton with SO, like using a utility knife on it. It's not the hardest thing in the world, but it is not easy. With this, it is legitimately so easy, okay? So if we go ahead and push this up, we can put our wire in there, set our depth of blade. I'm not sure if you can see the blade in there or not, but you just adjust it with this little black piece. And so you kind of eyeball it and say, okay, it's that deep. I know it's deep enough that it's going to cut the outside insulation, but not actually nick the conductors inside. And then from there, we're just going to go ahead and put it at the depth that we want it to. Give it a couple spins. I like to go both directions and then pull it off, okay? And then from there, you can see I haven't even touched it, and it's opening up. So if we go ahead and pull this back, this is just gonna slide off. Boom, you're done. And so, you know, we're doing warehouses where we're retrofitting lights, and these, I mean, you just have so many whips. Having this little tool here to do this, making sure that, you know, you're not nicking any of your conductors on any of these. Like, you set your blade depth and you go and you do it. You try it once. Once you know it's good, you can just kind of rock and roll. And it's very fast, very easy, a lot safer than using a utility knife, especially when you're doing like 100 of these. And it's super inexpensive and it's small. So this can just fit in your bag, and you kind of just don't notice it's there. And then when you start doing a bunch of cord or a bunch of cable, it works. This also works really well for large cable. It's very, very fast. There are more expensive versions of it, yes, but this is the one that I prefer. I've tried some of those larger versions that are like $70 to $100 a piece, and honestly, they take more time and they're harder to use. This one here is less expensive. It's easier to carry. It's a little bit smaller, and I think it works better even for the large cable that, like, I've seen it. We've raced. One of the first times I got to use this, me and my journeyman were like racing basically to see who could strip more cables faster. Much more, like, an awesome journeyman, like so much faster, so much more experience than me. And honestly, I don't even think it was close. This one took the cake, like, not by any means of me or what my capabilities were at the time, but just because this tool was faster significantly, which, it's stupid. Yeah, like, it was silly, but man, did that feel good. That is a core memory in my time coming up through the apprenticeship. And this thing here is going to be a winner. There's going to be very few times where you're going to catch me without this thing. Hardly ever. Now, Klein claw pliers, these are going to be similar to the style that I showed you earlier. This isn't the Knipex version, obviously, but this is the Klein's version of the Cobras. These set right here, it's going to be what we call in America channel lock pliers. I don't know about you, but where I'm from, we just call all of these styles of pliers channel locks. That's it, okay? These work significantly better for that. And also, they're technically called water pump pliers. A couple of the features that I love about these, if you haven't tried them, you need to. I'm telling you, once I switched over to this style, I've never looked back. I use the Cobras. They're a little bit more expensive. This is a really good entry style of plier to see if you even like it. Because honestly, the price tag on these is ridiculous. Klein has made these very affordable, which is a very, very nice thing. Okay, I'm glad they did. But One thing, the head is directional. So you're gonna actually get a directional bite from this. So it's gonna go this direction significantly easier than it will go backwards. This is important because it gives you a much better bite. Your teeth are gonna actually get to dig into your conduit or to whatever you're trying to turn. They just get a lot better bite, and I love it, okay? Not only that, the head is also a lot thinner, okay? Which means that you can get into smaller spaces, and it also means that, I always butcher this word, but basically, if you put 10 pounds of force into it, it gets dispersed over less area. It gives you better grip. I don't know all the science behind all of this stuff. I just know that these are lighter and they grip better. I just know at the end of the day that I'm choosing this style of plier every single time over the flat-jawed, heavier set style of channel locks, the chunky boys, okay? I also love the push button. This is a massive difference for me. It's very easy to do one-handed, which, I mean, so are the tongue and groove style. It's just easier to do. The one thing you don't have with these is any type of movement at all. And you have all of these positions. So all of these right here are going to be different positions. Personally, after I switched to the push button style, like, there was just never a chance for me to ever go back to the chunky boys. These blow them out of the water, okay? The Knipex version of these is significantly better, but I'm telling you, if you upgrade to these, give them like a week or 2 weeks to get used to using this push button here, but you're gonna be happy. And especially at this price tag, it is just kind of insane that you can actually get into this for that low of a price. Wiha Go boxes, okay? This right here is like a stubby on steroids. If we're talking about tools that are under $30, this is one of the most ridiculous sets out there. It has a couple different things. You'll see this row of bits here, which these are the Wiha Terminator bits. We'll talk about bits here in a little bit, but it does come with all of these impact rated bits. So you can go ahead and see all of these, which comes with a bunch of different hex. It's got Phillips, ton of Torx, even some squares and a 1/4 inch square as well. But it also has a little bit holder down here. Now these have some special features that most others don't, okay? This mini ratchet here, which is like a stubby on steroids, okay? We can go ahead and get one of these bits out, and we'll go ahead and get the number 2 Phillips out. This thing also has posi drives in it, which I haven't gotten rid of yet because I like to show these how they actually come when you buy them. But the posi drives are going to be taken out eventually. It's just I know I'm going to forget to put them back in when I go to show you, and it's whatever. This thing right here is like a stubby on steroids because you actually can get torque, okay? It's also significantly smaller and shorter than a stubby. If you're trying to save room like vertically, it takes up very, very little room, and you can actually get torque on it. Also, it takes 1/4 inch bits. So that means I can do a T10 security bit and a stubby screwdriver, unlike most of the other like 4-in-1s or 5, 6-in-1, whatever they are. Those things are outdated and old. 1/4 inch bits are the way to go because you can buy 1/4 inch bits, have a whole security bit set right at your fingertips, and not have to worry about having anything. The other part that I really, really love about this, other than the case, which is sweet, by the way, this is like, everything about this is awesome. And I actually have a few of these. So I've got this one marked with a piece of tape, but this is metal and it is fantastic. And this little piece does come out if you want to use this for something else. But I do like to store screws in there. Like if I have this out for my impact or for the stubby and I take out a screw that's going back in, I will put it in this little case, which is nice. However, this has one of the coolest features on any bit holder that I've seen for an impact for anything. These have bit retention in them, okay? This little tiny thin version here actually has bit retention, and I didn't know that, and I almost broke it trying to get it out the first time. But when you have bits that are this nice, that's very, very important because these bits are so nice that they will get stuck in screws. Self-tapper, they'll get stuck in anything, okay? Because of how well they fit, there'll be friction, and then from there you'll pull it out. And if it's just on there with a magnet, it will actually pull your bit out of the bit holder. Well, in order to release this bit holder here, we actually have to pull back on this little collar, and you can kind of see it shoot up. So You can see it push up, and then from there it's released. So there's actually like a retention mechanism in there, which is something that I've never seen on a bit holder that's this size. Blew my mind when I first saw it. I'm in love. I want to order just like 50 of those bit holders, but I don't know exactly what they are. However, if I'm choosing a bit holder at this point, it's got to be the Wiha for that exact reason, because it's thin and it'll hold those bits really, really well. Now, Klein released one of the coolest multi-drivers that we've seen in a long time, and you guys love this. Personally, I've seen these ball grip screwdrivers for a while now. This is a Japanese thing. This driver here is made in Japan. Klein's been doing this thing recently where they take things that are popular in other countries and they're bringing them over to us. And personally, I love it because it gives us all of these great options that other countries have used and that are great. They know they work, and they're bringing them to us and making them mainstream. I've been using a lot of these tools anyway for a long time. Like, I've had these ball grip screwdriver style for years now. I've loved them. They're really awesome to use. They feel very, very good in the hand. It looks weird, yes, but especially overhand, like if you're overhead and you're trying to screw in and you put it on there, like, it's so much easier to do that. You can get a ton of torque on the larger part of it, but you also can have control over the smaller part of it. And if you notice how your hand wraps around it, like, it just makes sense for it to kind of form and fit like that. Plus, it's weird and it's cool and it looks cool, okay? They come with this double-sided bit, which I like, but I also like that this just takes 1/4-inch bits. So if we go ahead and get our bit holder out, we can just open that up, and then from there, you can see this will just take normal bits just like that, and it's in there and it's locked. The locking mechanism was this gray piece here, so if I pull this back, it'll actually let that go. Personally, like, I don't love this locking bit mechanism the most. It's a little bit like, the screwdriver feels a little bit cheap, but it's also a $16 screwdriver, okay? It's a multi-driver. It takes 1/4-inch bits. It comes with this double-sided bit, and honestly, like, for the price tag, I'm not upset with the way this feels. You do have to worry a little bit with the retention because this isn't a very strong spring. But overall, like, this is a good option, especially at this price range for the ball grip stuff. It's definitely worth a shot. If you get it, if you love it, then you can get more into it and buy the higher end stuff. But this one here it'll last you for a decent amount of time, especially if you're not under like heavy use. But even with heavy use, it'll last you for a good amount of time. And then these bits obviously are just Klein double-sided bits, so you know how they fit. They're okay. They're not Wiha bits. They're not Wera bits, but they're good. This one here, definitely a big hit this year. Like I said, a lot of you guys loved this thing. Personally, I'm a huge fan. And you can even see right here where it says made in Japan, which I think is really, really cool that they actually made these where they got this idea from. And personally, I don't know, this is a big win for me. Now, a lot of you guys have been telling me to try the Pica pencil. I have the Ox Pro. I've had it for a while. I just recently got the Pica, and I got this one as well, testing a bunch of tools on Amazon, like the highest rated tools. This one here is one of those, and man, I think the Amazon one won, okay? I've never heard of this. I'd never seen this before. I don't remember where exactly this is from, but it's on Amazon, and I'll leave links to all this stuff in the description so you guys can find it. I never want you guys to donate money or do anything like that, but the way to help the channel out is to subscribe, and if you do like a tool, use the links and pick it up. I try to be very, very honest about these because I don't want you guys to waste your money on all this stuff that doesn't make sense to. In the same way, that's why we kind of trash some tools, because I don't want you guys to just buy everything. I want you to buy what you need and the good stuff. Personally, this right here is my favorite of those nice extendable pencils that help you get back into recessed areas. I love this. I've been using the Ox Pro for like a year now probably, but basically the lead pops out, and then from there you can get back into recessed areas. It's a really nice mechanical pencil, okay? You'll typically see all the other ones. Klein has one as well that's atrocious, but they'll have this metal stick here, right? And this is how they come, and this is how you have to write with them, which just isn't ideal for actually writing. Like, if you're trying to write something out, if you're trying to write instructions, or if you're trying to draw or whatever, it doesn't make sense to just be able to have this metal piece. Like, having this little sheet that goes over it so you can actually just use this as a regular pencil is a fantastic whole deal here. It also comes with more lead. So if you pull this black piece off, you can change out the lead, which I like. Obviously, it has a little piece back here as well for a belt clip, so you can clip it onto stuff. Just push it out, boom. And the sharpener on this is, if we go ahead and twist this orange piece, which is going to be, it's going to be on there apparently. My goodness. The Hulk must have put this thing on. I've been working out a lot again. I didn't quit, but moving to Dallas, you know, it took a toll on my workout routine, but I've been hitting the gym a lot lately. So y'all are about to see, y'all kind of busted my balls a little bit for being 245. So we're hopping back on. We're going to the gym. We're 15 pounds down to 230. So appreciate you guys for roasting me. We're back at it, going strong. But this little piece pops off, and then to sharpen it, you just do this. I'm not going to get this lead all over my desk here. Very, very easy to see though. And then this just screws back on, and then from there you're done. Boom, push that down. You can push that in. I love this style of pencil. I thought it was kind of stupid, at least for me. I could always see where this would be useful in other trades, other cases like that. Personally, massive fan though. I've been using one, and like, it's the one pencil I haven't lost, which is saying a ton. Wiha, this is a new one. I promise you, they conspired to drop all of these at the same exact time. There were like 4 or 5 different brands. Wiha made the best version, okay? This is just an impact rated socket set on a very, very easy to go travel case, okay? These are all standard sizes. The red is standard. There's a blue pack as well that's metric. Basically, these all go on the railing. The rest of these come in like weird configurations that aren't on compression squares. You know, this is just like a compression style of like you put it on there and it compresses into it and you're good to go. The rest of them are on like weird rubber sleeves, and they're a lot harder to get out. The reason I like this kit so much, for one, it's very inexpensive. For two, it's very compact. This can fit inside a tool bag without taking up a bunch of space, without getting in the way. And now I have, you know, 7 different sizes of sockets, standard sockets that are impact rated. They're also 3/8 drive, so I can put this in a ratchet, or with this adapter up top, I can take this off. Oh, I did not know that came off. I'm going to be honest, I've never had this thing come off on me. There we go. Well, that's cool. You can move it around. I didn't know that. But with this 3/8 drive, you can just put this in your impact or in a multi-driver handle and have a nut driver set. Personally, this is by far my favorite set. It's super inexpensive, and the mechanism to hold all of these sockets is the best because these actually come off and they go back on fairly easily. The rest of them are in rubber sleeves, and it's the most frustrating thing I've ever tried to do to actually remove those from those rubber sleeves. So winner here. Now, some of my favorite strippers, which to be honest, these are kind of pushing the price limit. I think these are a legitimate $35, so they're not actually under, which is why we've got another set here, which we'll talk about in a second. The Klein heavy duty set though is by far my favorite set from Klein. This is the only set I would get from Klein anymore. Honestly, I don't think Klein strippers strip that well compared to some of the other brands like Knipex, Ideal. Their strippers strip just too well. And on top of that, Crescent, which is going to be our next version. But if you like this heavier duty style, these Crescents are probably the best strippers I've ever used. Like, they strip so well, I thought that they were crushing into the conductor. They like snap. The cutting on them is good. It's decent. It's not going to be like Knipex style, but I mean, it is just butter smooth to strip with these. So if we go ahead and put this in here, it's 14 gauge, and I'll let you hear the click. That is just too well machined. I've not seen that on anything other than the Ideal and the Knipex. The Knipex being like $70 for the set. The cutters on these, way better than the traditional Kleins. I really, really love the handles as well. They're very ergonomic. They have this pretty big bump out on them, so they actually like fit in your hand and feel good. The black is a like texture, so there's not slipping out of your hands. And they have a decent size range. They go up to 8 solid, which is nice, okay? They have to go all the way down to that because a lot of commercial lighting circuits are 10 stranded, which is going to be 8 solid, which is a huge, huge, huge disappointment for the Knipex ones because they actually don't go down that far. This set right here, though, strips really, really well. They cut better than the traditional Klein sets or those junkier sets. They're very heavy duty, and you even have a head on them. So if you want to twist a couple conductors together, you can. Personally, I don't love using that, but if you need to and you're in a pinch or that's all you have on you, it's definitely possible. Some of my favorites. Okay, so I was going to show you these on an example, but I can't find my device screw anywhere. So we're just going to go show you on an actual device. This is the most insane thing that I've ever seen. I don't know which lights do what here, apparently. But if we go ahead and take a look, you're going to see this is just a typical device. And so I'm going to turn this to the left here. And boom, like you can walk away from it. This is not typical, okay? This is just like a regular flathead device screw. Nothing fancy about it whatsoever. The screw itself. But with these drivers, they actually have this like a laser etched tip on them, and they just grab screws better, okay? Like these are like flatheads. They have some of the worst grip. They're decorative at best. And so you're actually like able to do this. And you know what? We're going to go ahead and pull this out, and I'll show you back in the studio exactly how crazy this is. But this is insane, okay? Just to be clear, that should not happen. Now, a lot of people get confused and they're like, why does that matter? Well, if you have a good grip on a screw like that, it means you're going to be less likely to strip it out, which is good for, it's just good for everything. So it's a little bit too small for me to just grab it with my fingers. So we're going to go ahead and just get a good grip on it with these twin grip pliers here, which obviously is going to be more than enough. But like I'll just not cut anything from this point forward until we're through that. Let me make sure we got a good grip on our screw here. And like the crappiest device screws you can possibly imagine. These things are horrible. And so now we've got it, and we're going to go ahead and just see how far. You don't get that grip anywhere else, okay? You don't get that grip anywhere else, and you also don't get this, like, for this amount of price. You can maybe get some, like, diamond etched tips, which you're going to spend, like, double the price on, and also those are going to wear off too, which these do eventually. But for the price of, like, $30 for a full set, that would typically cost you $70 for an American set. These are lighter. They work significantly better. You have more options. This is the insulated set. You can get the regular set as well. And I really, really like how these fit in your hand. This is my favorite style of handle that, like, it feels very ergonomic. I really love using these. They're also very different, which is cool to me. I've never been such a big fan of anything, but I'm a massive fan of all of these Wera drivers. And I'm going to go put this back because I'm nervous I'm going to lose it, and that's not what I want to do right now. So if we go ahead and take a look at these, this is the next one, which these are the Wera screw grips. These things are just absolute, like, they're different, okay? These are one of a kind. I've actually never seen these with anyone else anywhere. The red is the smaller version for smaller shafts. The yellow is for larger shafts, like the insulated ones. So what this will allow for you to do is hold screws that you, like, can't reach, okay? This is a different kind of retention of, like, you're having a lot of trouble getting somewhere. It's in a place that's far back. You can't get something started. From there, you can just pop this onto any of your drivers or your Allen keys, literally anything you want to, driver bits. And then from there, you can start this, like, get it started back into where you're going. It's going to have a lot of grip. Like, this is a pretty big screw, and I'm still able to keep everything in line. And then after it goes through, it's just going to shoot it out. That means you can have bit retention for your flathead, for your Phillips, for your square, for your #1 square, like literally for whatever you want to. Even, like I said, it will even fit on your Allens, your smaller Allens at least. That way, like, if you really need it, you can put it pretty much anywhere. Very light, very inexpensive. Either way, these work with non-Wera drivers as well. You can get these and fit them on anything you want to. But personally, I would put them on the Wera drivers because if you've never tried them, they're worth trying. And next up, the Canadian mind can't even just comprehend what it possibly just saw. But Fiskars here, this is their drywall utility saw. This thing is a banger. Best drywall saw, best utility knife that I've seen By far the best combo. It's got all metal body construction. The drywall saw flips out, for crying out loud. What am I supposed to do with that? Like, you can't give me that much of a fidget. Like, it shouldn't work that well that it flips out. Again, all metal body construction except for the orange. The orange is a softer rubber, very, very ergonomic. I can use this thing all day without getting tired. On top of that, it's also got a utility blade here, which is super nice if you need a dedicated utility blade. Again, very ergonomic. So you're going to be able to use this all day. And if we go ahead and push this little black lever down, this is going to open up. We're going to have blade storage in here with magnetic blade holding in here. This is also how you change out the blade. There's no blades in there, and there probably hasn't been for a year. Truthfully, I use the little flip out. This is mostly a drywall saw for me, but it does have blade storage in there. It is phenomenal, and if you can get your hands on this thing, it is so worth it. Gosh, we have about 1,000 nut drivers here. The Klein 7-in-1, these flip sockets, I used to be back and forth on this system, which system was better. The Klein is by far and away my favorite system now because of all the other stuff that they have with their Connect system. So they have a whole system. You can get different sized shafts. You can order extra shafts. You can order metric. You can order more sizes. You can order less sizes. It's amazing. The whole premise of this is that these pop off and they flip around. So each of these is dual-sided, color-coded, which is awesome. 7/16, ½ inch on this side, 1/4 inch, 5/16, 3/8, 7/16 on the bottom here. The other side comes off the back. So if I wanted to put the 3/8 on there, put it on like that, and then I could store this on above. Personally, I like to carry an extra shaft, and that way I only have 2 sizes on one single nut driver, which is just a lot less clunky. It works a lot better, a lot faster. And then that way I can have 2 of these, and I'll have 2 different drivers with 4 different sizes, which honestly, typically it'll be the 7/16 and the 9/16. And then on top of that, I have the 3/8. And then I guess I typically don't use my ½ inch very much, but when I need it, I got it. Okay. Personally, that's my favorite. I like that for that exact reason. The Klein is my favorite because I can actually get like whatever I want in this. And the magnets on this are really nice and easy to clean, which I like personally. You can also get 2 different sized shafts. So you can have a shorter version of this as well. And that way, when you do run into somewhere where you don't have room, you can actually throw it on the shorter one and you're good to go. Other than that, this is the handheld version. It's going to be the 9-in-1. This is all the way pass through. This is standard size. All of these are going to have retention in them in some way or another, which I really, really love. And they're all completely pass through, which is just hard to beat. So if we go ahead and get this out, so we can go ahead and go to our 9/16. So if we go ahead and pull the front portion out here, you can see like this will actually take up threads. And on top of that, there's retention in this. So like this is just in there. All of them have a magnet or a retention ball in there. So there's actually like tension on there, and you can hook this around the corner. You can, push this in and thread it in without losing it. I'm all the way upside down right now with the 9/16. The ones on the outside are the ones that are going to have the magnets on them, and the ones that actually house other bits are going to have the retention ball in them. What I've seen is that it makes no difference whatsoever which version it is. As long as, like if it's got the magnet or the retention ball, they both work equally well. The one thing you do want to make sure is that you get the version that is magnetic, though. The other thing is that this has 11/32 on it, which is the green up here, which electricians use a lot, and folks in the industry just don't give us a lot of 11/32 for some reason. But we use it quite a bit for different machines, especially retrofitting lights, that type of stuff. And our final nut driver set here is going to be these Klein hollow shafted nut drivers. Now, you can't get the set of these for under $30, but individually you can. And personally, I really only like the 9/16 and the 7/16 for 1/4 inch and 3/8 hardware. So if we go ahead and find our bolt again, you can see it does the same thing that the other nut driver did, the handheld one. However, this one's going to actually go in your impact, so you can use this on hardware. It just makes things a lot easier that way. Like I sometimes I like to use the handheld nut driver. Like it just works better that way. And sometimes I like to use my impact. It depends on what we're doing, how many we're doing. You know, sometimes if it's just one or two, I'm using my handheld. If it's like all day, I'm getting this out and I'm using this. I'm putting it in my impact, kind of going from there. We go ahead and put this in here, kind of screw that back in because I put a nut in there. One time I put this like a 3/8 bolt in there this way and didn't have a nut on it. Like, just, I don't know. Sometimes you let your intrusive thoughts win, and I let mine win that day. But I had to like drill a drill bit into it and then kind of press it out. It was fun. Don't do that. These, though, are very, very cool. Either way, these are great, and they make life a lot easier. Now, these are similar to the claw pliers in the way of, like, the pliers wrench here is a very inexpensive version of something that's very common. Like, Knipex makes the best version of it, in my opinion. They make these very affordable, and I'm telling you guys, these things are absolutely awesome. This is an adjustable wrench in a plier form. Basically, the jaws stay parallel. There's an angle to them. There's movement. In order to adjust them, you press the button. And so if we press the button, it opens up to as wide as we want to. All of these are different sections, which is really, really nice. Like, I can really transform, like, I can really choose whatever size and style I need to. There's writing on there, but typically I'll just fit it to whatever I'm doing it to. So I'll close it up, and then from there it closes, and now I'm good to go, and that's that. The other cool thing about it is that if I want to rotate this, I can close it on this and twist, and then if I'm in a tight spot in like a corner, I can open these up and actually ratchet around without having to take these all the way off, like, because there's actual movement in the jaw. So if you see, I'm going to open these handles up right now, and then from there, there's actually enough room for me to get around this without taking them off, unlike there would be on a typical adjustable wrench. Does it make that big of a difference? Like, yeah, actually it does. These things, if you've never tried them, this is the most budget-friendly set. The 10-inch set from Knipex is like, they're expensive. They're super expensive. These right here, very affordable. Are they as nice? No. Are you going to enjoy using them? Absolutely, especially if you're just using an adjustable wrench now. This is a set that you just absolutely need to check out. Now, Knipex plastic pliers, potentially the most hated tool on the internet, at least for me. This is the first tool that I ever like went viral on, which was really funny because guys were just calling me soft. Now, call me whatever you want to, but doing service work around customers or around customers, this is one of those tools that, like, you get in a certain position and this is just going to be the only way that you're comfortable doing it. Doing hot work, not even like real hot work, but chasing down a circuit that's dead. You know, you go to a gas station and you're on the outside, you're like looking at the pumps, all the lights are out, all the rest of those circuits are on, and you don't want to turn them off because it'll turn off the gas pumps, but you also don't want to stick your hand in there. And if you stick a metal set of pliers, even if they're insulated in there, there's the potential for them to touch something else because it's outside. There's been corrosion. Like, this is the safest way to do that, where even if, you know, your hands are safe, but typically with the metal insulated sets, like if I touch a conductor here and touches the back of the box or another conductor, I'm going to short this out and it's going to go boom. And then I'm going to look stupid in front of my customer and in front of my customers. No good. Okay. We don't want to do that. This isn't a fun set of pliers to use. But in an uh-oh type of situation, when you're trained and you know what you're doing, not for people who are new, not for homeowners, not for apprentices, people who have been around for a while, this is one of those things that, like, you can use this and you can, like, feel a little bit more comfortable doing something that is probably silly, but like you have to do because things are on and you can't turn them off. That's the other thing of, like, working in big facilities where you can't shut down machinery and you're working in panels live, because if you shut down a panel, it's like $1 million an hour. Like, some of the most ridiculous numbers I've ever seen in my life of, like, you know, you talk to your project manager and you're like, can we shut this down? And they're like, no. It legitimately costs so much per hour to have this line shut down that it's not, like, it's just not feasible. We're doing it live. So be smart. Like, never do anything you're uncomfortable with, especially if you're young. Like, I've said no to plenty of things. I've also said yes to things that nobody asked me to do. Have a little fun, live a little, but be very careful. Your life is nothing to play with. However, these are something to play with. They do look like a children's toy, and there's a reason that I keep these in my bag, and it's so I can do dumb things and make them not so dumb. Another Wera. This is the beater. This is a chisel driver, okay? Just my favorite beater by far. Basically, I got this for a project that I broke one of my Klein beaters on. I got this one, and I've had no issues with it since. It's got the metal cap on it. It looks the same as the other drivers. It's meant to be beat on and pried on. It's a chisel driver. It's not going to fit in flatheads very well. That's the one caveat, is that unlike some of those other drivers that are like, I think they call them keystone drivers, that'll actually fit in some flatheads, this is just meant to be beat on and pried on, okay? I'll leave a link to this one specifically in the description because it's a little bit hard to find. I want to say it's the 10 millimeter, but whatever the one I have linked is going to be this one, which is the big boy. I've got one of the small ones as well. They're very affordable, and they just last for forever, okay? Absolutely love this. There's nothing to cover, but if I were buying all of this over again, like, this is the best beater driver that I've ever used, and I've got a ton of different brands. That being said, absolute winner for me. Dogbone here from Klein. This is one of my newer ones. I've had the Crescent for a long time. This one here has color coding on it. It's not even that color coded. I'm about to like spray paint this thing, but then again, I like to show you guys these tools how they come and not just, I'm so torn. Like, this thing is probably about to get sprayed though, for that reason. The coloring isn't significant. There is the 12-point sockets. Honestly, I typically just use the 3/8 for beam clamps to tighten those up. That's the main reason. But 3/8, 1/4 inch, and then 5/16, 7/16. 4 sizes in one, very inexpensive. And now you can actually buy these solo. You don't have to buy the pack, which is nice. They're 12-point. I typically use just the 3/8, but when I have this, it's so easy to have like a 1/4 inch set here where it's very, very easy. Like, when I need to use this, I can use this for whatever. 7/16 is probably the most common size that I use outside of the 3/8, but it's just there, and it's nice, and it's very, very quick and easy. Doesn't take up any room, very inexpensive. There's a couple of different brands that make a version of this. Klein has color coding, and honestly, that's it. There's nothing incredibly special about this. This is the one that I would pick up, though, especially now that you can pick it up individually, and you don't have to have the larger size as well. But if you want to save some money and you want the larger size, go for it. I've had them for the Crescent and for this, and I think I've used the larger size of the Crescent one single time on a pole light, retrofitting pole lights, and that's it. So, handheld rimmer.
Those like little pencil rimmers.
If you know, you know. I love doing those interviews at the school. Shout out to those guys. The guy said he called it a rimmer. He called it a rimmer twice. That guy was so much fun, though. Like, if you've never seen the interviews, you guys make sure you're subscribed to the channel, and make sure you guys check us out on Instagram and everything too. Do a lot with the school and the students. Got to do a lot of cool giveaways. It's a good time, and I have so much fun being there. Shout out to all you guys that are from IEC if you're seeing this video. If we've never talked, make sure you guys come see me next time I'm there. But either way, okay? This here is going to be my favorite reamer on the market. Couple different reasons. Klein blew this out of the water. I honestly wasn't even using a reamer for a long time. I was using my Cobras. But this is 1/4 inch, which this handle is one of my favorites from Klein. This mechanism is so strong. It's very similar to the ball grip, but it's got a lot stronger spring to it, so I can make this anything. This also comes out, and I can put this in my impact, okay? Now, the part that I think is really cool, because the front of this honestly sucks, okay? It's got the double-sided flip bits with a bit in the front. This bit is going to pop out because these aren't built to hold these. So this is the depth that it'll actually sit at. This bit will fall off. You don't want that. Don't do the bit holding in this. If you want the 1/4 inch and the 5/16 in the front, that's fine. That makes sense to do. Cool. Perfect. What I personally like to do is do a 2-inch number 2 square in the front of this because it just takes 1/4 inch bits. So we'll go ahead and get our bit holder out, and we can do this with this or with a regular bit. But personally, I like to do a number 2 square in the front of this. And then that way, I'm actually able to tighten up those couplings and connectors. But now this isn't getting in the way, like it's far enough up, and this is small enough that it's not getting in the way of the conduit for me to go ahead and slip it on in there. Amazing. They just gave us 1/4" options, and now you can do what you want with it. Personally, that's what I would do with it. One of my favorite features about this whole thing is that there's versatility, and you don't have to use the way that honestly doesn't make sense that they gave it to us in, but you can kind of adapt it. And then on top of that, this handle is phenomenal. It feels great. So you don't have to like just have this and a handle. You can use this, or you can just keep this with the number 2 square in there and put it in your other driver, whatever that may be. Utility knives. Fiskars is by far my favorite, okay? I have a ton of them. I've talked about them a lot. They're a lot bigger than what you traditionally expect, which means they're a lot more ergonomic, okay? Basically, there's a lot more round edges on this. It's heavier. It's an all-metal body construction, except for the orange, which is a rubber, which gives you a little bit more texture to like grab onto. Feels phenomenal in the hand. Bigger grooves, bigger back plate here, so like I can actually get my thumb there, or my thumb, like whatever part of my hand that I want to there. The clips are decent. Obviously, the blade changeout is going to be easy. That's kind of a no-brainer. They flip very smoothly because they're very, very well balanced because they're metal. I have a ton of these, like legitimately over 8. I've not had an issue with a single one of them, okay? That being said, some people like to pocket carry a little bit better, and they like the Milwaukee fastback style, which personally, I'm going with the Crescent now. This is the only utility knife style that I've seen that'll actually has like a flipper on it, a little blade flipper here, but I don't even have to swing open in order to open this. And it's got a liner lock on it as well, but you can see just boom, easy enough. There's no onboard storage on this, which is one thing I will say. That for me isn't a big deal. If you like onboard storage, go with the Milwaukee. I would avoid the Klein, but the Milwaukee with blade storage on it is decent. I'm not going through blades left and right. And I typically have like a couple in my bag as well. Blade changeout's easy. This thing, it just feels good. I don't know why no one else has had the flipper, but like I love a pocket knife or a knife of any style with this little back piece on that just like so easy to flip up. Cake, absolutely just a gem of a knife. Knipex shears, these right here, money. I've tried a ton of these, okay? like the last video I just did was the Amazon video, which I'll tell you about in a minute. But basically, I bought a ton of different pairs of shears that you guys told me to buy. None of them even came close to this set here, okay? This is just basically a set of scissors on steroids with a little hole here. They're shears, like they cut so well. You can cut anything from low volt to like, this is 14.2, right? So there's 3 conductors in here, but like cake, absolute cake. Klein's made one, Pliers has one. Like I bought a bunch of different versions that of like people who kind of specialize in that thing. None of them even came close to the original OG pair from Knipex. This is the set. It comes with this little shield here, so you aren't like poking through your pockets or aren't poking through your belt or your bag. It's got a nice little clip on it. Super useful. This is what I use to strip low volt with. I've had these for a couple of years now. They've never left my bag, and I never, ever, ever will take these out. Like, it just doesn't make sense. This is the only multi-insulated driver that I have, and this is the Wiha Pocket Max, and this thing is an absolute dog, which, again, this one here, proprietary bits, yes, but it's the only insulated multi-driver with slimline blades that has onboard storage with 4 other blades. So I'm actually able to like change these out, and it's small enough to fit in my pocket. Like, it's actually fitting in my pocket. Thought it was a little gimmicky when I first got it, ended up loving it. The cap spins as well. So if we go ahead and turn it to the left, it'll unlock. And so now it'll actually spin instead of catching. There is a way for you to catch it so it's not spinning, but now I can, use one hand and spin and kind of go from there, and I have everything I need to, right? So they're also proprietary blades, but they're so well populated by Wiha that you can get whatever blade style you want. It comes with 2 flatheads, a number 2 square, number 1 Phillips, and a number 2 Phillips. But if you like wanted a number 1 square instead, you could do that and change it out. Fits really nicely in there. This is an awesome screwdriver. And the other bits from Wiha, these are they are the best bits on the market, okay? I wanted to show you guys in this case because these little cases stack on top of each other. And I like this configuration with the 3.5-inch bits. All of these blue ones are the blue Terminator bits. These fit better. I didn't know there were good bits and bad bits, but I will say I started using the Klein ProFlex bits with the orange in them and the blue Terminator bits from Wiha. And let me just tell you, there are good bits and there are bad bits. This is a good set of bits. They come with all kinds of different cases and they're dropping a bunch of new ones. That's what at least they told me at AHR, the last big convention I went to. If you're looking for good bits, you're gonna wanna try these out. Order a big pack of them, like get the 3.5-inch bits and just see how well of a difference these make, because I promise they make a massive difference. Now, if you wanna see me buy and test some of the highest rated tools on Amazon and some of your guys' recommendations, you guys can head up here. Remember, it's all for His glory, and I'll see you guys on the next one.